Hello everyone, welcome back to another weather forecast video. It is currently Thursday, October 31st, so happy Halloween to all who celebrate. Today we will be going over the possibility for tropical weather down here in the Caribbean, the Halloween forecast for tonight, and the possibility of a multi-day severe weather outbreak going into the early next week and this weekend time frame. So we're going to start it off with the tropics here. We have a 7-day 60% chance of development over here and a 2-day 10% chance. So there's nothing imminent on this threat here, but we are looking at the possibility for development. And if it does develop, it could possibly swing up into the Gulf. It could go here. We're not quite sure yet. It depends on where this ridge sets up. If it sets up over here, it could drive it right up into the Gulf. If not, it could send it out to the ocean. And we're not quite sure about the intensity yet, as the storm is yet to form. We also have this area of tropical development that was recently added just north of the Caribbean for a 2-day 10% chance and a 7-day 10% chance. So this is a very low area, but they wanted to highlight it for the possibility. And we have one area up here for tropical development, 2-day 20% and a 7-day 20%. So the overall chances are still low, but it could, and it looks like it won't be any hindrance to land. But the main one I'm going to continue watching is the possibility for development over here in the Caribbean, as this area is a pretty favorable environment for tropical systems. And bringing it right on over to the severe weather outlook, which is what I think will be the main event going into early next week in the weather world. We are starting it off with a day 2 categorical risk of a marginal risk here in the New Mexico and Texas region for the isolated risk of wind and hail. So there's not too much to worry about that, just possible marginal storms there. We do have a day 3 slight risk outlook, so this is where it becomes more interesting, as areas in Texas have a day 3 slight risk outlook for the possibility of all hazards being wind, hail, and the possibility for a tornado or two, and then a larger marginal risk for isolated chances of winds or hail. And then our day 4 outlook. We have a day 4 slight risk of severe weather. It's almost like we just saw this yesterday, as it's almost in the same exact area here for the possibility of all hazards, including winds, damaging wind gusts, and tornadoes. So my main areas, this is for Sunday, the 3rd. The main areas I'm watching is Sunday here. And then we have a day 5 slight risk for the possibility of all hazards of wind, damaging winds, hail, and the possibility for a couple tornadoes. And I think Monday could possibly be a little, or Tuesday could possibly be, or yeah, Monday could possibly be a little more significant here. So I'm going to continue to watch the Monday time frame for more significant setup, but it all depends on how that trough sets up. But right now they already have a highlighted 15% chance for severe weather. And I think tomorrow or the next day they could issue a slight risk of severe weather for areas just to the east of this slight risk, possibly a little overlapping here. So we'll continue to watch for that, as we may have a multi-day severe weather outbreak. And I wanted to quickly bring up the simulated radar on the GFS here to get an idea of what Halloween may look like. So we can see here that areas in the east and central plains will most likely be more dry this evening as we go into the trick-or-treating time frame. Areas along the Washington and Oregon coast here may see some rain and a mix of snow in the Rockies, and areas in the Rockies could possibly see some light snow this evening. And then the main area for precipitation that I'm watching is areas up here in the northern Great Lakes, as you may see heavy snow out here in northern Wisconsin and eastern uh, Minnesota. And then a band of rain stretching all the way from northern Michigan and Wisconsin all the way down to Louisiana. So anyone along this cold front that's pushing through here will have the possibility for rain and some isolated storms. Not anything severe. Everything will be below severe limits, but you may see some storms and rain as you go into the evening and the time for trick-or-treating. And bringing it over to the jet stream here, we can get an idea of what our jet stream will look like and what will bring our possibility for an active pattern coming up. So we could see that this is the remnants of our trough that came through yesterday, bringing a severe weather outbreak to areas in the southern plains here, and is now pushing through as a cold front to areas in Wisconsin and the Great Lakes in general, bringing more cold air and gusty winds to these areas. So make sure you have your Halloween decorations hatched down, as it will be very windy out there today. And then if we drag this out, we can already see another trough setting up here. And as we go into Monday, this looks like a pretty significant trough here, but if you do notice, it is more or positively tilted, meaning it brings less of a threat for significant severe weather as it's not able to drag up as much moisture and warm air. Although this is still a pretty sizable trough, bringing the possibility for severe weather on that Sunday and Monday time frame. But if this were to become more negatively tilted, we could be looking at more of a significant outbreak in this region, so we'll have to continue to watch for that possibility. And then right behind it is another trough, although you can see how much this is positively tilted, so this likely won't bring too bad a severe weather. And it does look better off there in the eastern areas, so we'll have to continue to watch that. And if we continue to drag that out, you can see the pattern continues to stay active all the way through middle of November. So it looks like over the next couple weeks, we'll see an active pattern, bringing the possibility for severe weather, maybe significant severe weather, and temperature swings across the U.S. And this model here kind of paints a picture of where our cold and warm air masses will be. So you can see here that our current trough is sweeping through, bringing colder air to areas in the plains and eventually the Great Lakes all the way out to the east. And the east is currently warmer than average right now. And if we drag this out, we can see that our next trough dips down here on Sunday, bringing warmer temperatures here in the east and below average temperatures here in the west. And then that swings through. And then we can see here that this trough may bring significantly below average temperatures here in the Great Lakes region if that were to occur. And then uh, quite the sizable record-breaking temperatures up here in northern Canada, seeping down into the Great Lakes region for the possibility of warmer weather. And then by the time we get to the end of this, we could see the same setup here, but that's a little far out, so we can't forecast exact severe weather or temperatures that far out. But what we can say for certain is it does look like our weather will continue to stay very active as we go into the middle of November, bringing the possibility for severe weather may be significant and large temperature swings going from below average to above average and then back. And then lastly, the last thing I wanted to show you today was the 6 to 10 day temperature and precipitation outlook. So we can see areas in the east here, and this is for the November 6th through 10th time frame. So this is after election day, and this is after our severe weather outbreak possible here in the plains. We could say that we will likely stay above average out here in the east, and then near average out here spreading up into the Wisconsin area. And then another area of above average up in the north here near the Dakotas and along the west coast here. And then areas in the Four Corners region may have a pocket of cold air with another trough incoming that may bring cooler temperatures to areas in the Four Corners region. But overall, for the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, it looks like the weather will be pretty nice temperature-wise across the U.S. You know, no big scorching heat waves or cool areas. And then our precipitation outlook, we can see here that areas in the western Texas and New Mexico regions will likely stay above average in precipitation. And then Florida may see above average precipitation due to possible tropical moisture being surged up into that area. And then areas along the north here will likely stay below average as there's not too much going on up there. And if we look at our drought monitor here, we can see that areas in the New Mexico and Texas region do need this rain pretty badly. So it's very blessing as long as it doesn't fall all at once. And then we can see that most of the United States, especially areas over here in the Dakotas and some areas over here in the Ohio region and Virginia, look to be very in a severe or even exceptional drought. So they very heavily need rain, and some areas got their first rain in over a month. So, this active stretch of severe weather should hopefully diminish a lot of these droughts across the U.S., but we'll have to continue to watch the pattern as it stays active. Well, this is all I got for you guys today, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope to see you in the next forecast video. Goodbye.